This month, I've pulled 13 hidden cameras out of my own bedroom. And I've never once met the man who keeps planting them. S. You dress so sweet today, baby. That pink bow suits you. S. Your new shampoo smells amazing. Even better than the last one. S. You keep sighing lately. Something got you down, baby? The system dropped me here with one job. Went over the cold campus god. Instead of landing the god, I got stuck with a creep who won't let go. The cold campus god I was chasing? He's the one live streaming my bedroom. Same person. Me. I'm chasing someone. The other end lost it. S. Chasing someone. S. Tell me who the little bastard is. Me, his name's Theron. He's my campus crush. The man who'd been jealous out of his mind went quiet. A rare long silence. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed again. He sent over a dense, detailed stalking and capture plan. S. You can't even chase a guy. Such a baby. S. Don't worry. Listen to me. Cuff him, lock him in your room, kiss him until he loves you. I stared at the minute-by-minute jog route, and the code to his building's front door. Stalking. Spying. Tying him up. Making him. I sat there and thought about it. Does the campus god actually like this stuff? The system sent me to win over the male lead, Theron. Problem is, I'm slow by nature. In a whole crowd of prettier, smoother girls chasing him, I was the forgettable one. All I could do was keep texting him good morning and good night. He never once replied. I chased him for a month. Figured I'd at least become a familiar face. Today I worked up the nerve to say hi. He looked at me like a total stranger, and walked right past, cold. A whole month of effort, wasted. Bad mood means snacks. I curled up with a pile of them and chewed. My phone buzzed. That familiar black profile picture. S. You're so cute when you eat, baby. Slow down, don't choke. S. Fourth chocolate already. Rough day. I ignored him and scanned the room. Sure enough. Another camera behind the flower pot. That made 13 this month. S. So smart, baby. The phone buzzed again. S. Your face just came in close. My heart's racing. I want more. There's one on top of the wardrobe. Grab that one for me too. I went looking for a stool. S. The little stool's in the kitchen. You used it last time for the kitchen camera. My face scrunched up. Me. Hide them lower next time. They're a pain to reach. S sent a swooning sticker. S. Even your angry little frown is adorable. How are you this cute? S. I put them up high so I can see your room better. S. Did you forget, baby? That butterfly clip you lost last time, I'm the one who told you where it was. You even called me a genius. Huh, guess that happened. I flopped onto the bed and gave up reaching for it. Take this one down and there'll be another. This stranger, S, showed up out of nowhere while I was chasing Theron. At first he just kept complimenting my clothes, my hair clips. I figured he wanted the same ones. So I helpfully sent the links. Me. I always shop at this store. Great quality, super cheap. S. Thanks, baby. But I like the one you're wearing better. It smells like you. I figured he liked my body wash, so I sweetly sent that link too. S. Cutest thing alive. I was sure the other end was some polite, sweet, soft little girl. After that I sent her every pretty dress and clip I came across. Sometimes we'd even go in on an order together. Me. This dress is gorgeous, but it's so expensive. The second I hit send, he wired me 50 grand. I froze. Counted the zeros. Then counted them again. S. Great eye, baby. This dress is so you. Go buy it quick. Me. You're loaded. But I can't take this, it's not right. S. What's not right? My money is your money. Anything you want, baby, it's yours. His words had me tempted. Good manners won out. I didn't take it. I thought that was the end of it. The next day, that dress was sitting at my front door, wrapped up beautiful. A note stuck on top. For the prettiest baby in the world. Something felt off. I'd never told him where I lived. And it only got worse. S. Your outfit's so cute today, baby. The pink butterfly clip suits you. S. You barely ate at dinner. Are you dieting? S. You talked to some guy today. You were laughing so happy. I'm jealous. That's when I knew for sure. He'd been watching me. Stalking me. Even inside my own home. His cameras. And this S wasn't some soft sweet girl at all. He was a guy. I felt cheated. He kept apologizing. S. I'm sorry. I lost it, baby. You're just too cute. When you're out of my sight, it eats me alive. Me. So all those dresses I sent you, you never even looked at them properly. S. I did. Everything you sent, I bought all of it. I could tell he panicked. Next second, he sent me a video. A huge walk-in closet, packed with every pretty little dress I'd ever recommended. One green one in the middle looked familiar. Wasn't that the dress I threw out last week? The one with the oil stain that wouldn't come out? S. You wore that one. It doesn't belong in the trash. So I took it back. Anyone else might have been scared. But I'm slow by nature. Always a beat behind. Everyone's different, I figure. This stranger probably just wanted a real friend, badly. Me. You can just tell me next time. You don't have to sneak around. That one line lit him up on the spot. S. You're not scared, baby? S. I knew it. I knew you were the best to me. After that he got bolder. Every message dripped with how obsessed he was. S. You put on lipstick today, baby. So pretty I want to eat you up. S. Your new shampoo smells amazing too. Even more tempting than last time. S. You're too cute, baby. Don't look at other men. Just look at me, okay? By the time I caught on, my whole life had already been swallowed by him. And even now, I still hadn't met this S in person. If only the cold male lead, Theron, were this easy to talk to. S seemed to notice I'd been out of it lately. S. You keep sighing, baby. Something got you down. Whenever I hit a wall before, he'd always help me figure it out. I thought about it and decided to tell him. Me. I'm chasing someone. My phone blew up. It would not stop buzzing. S. Chasing someone. S. Why don't I know about this? You're lying to me, aren't you? S. How could you even look at another man? What's the little bastard's name? S. He must have pulled some dirty trick to seduce you. Bastard. 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 I didn't expect him to react this hard. He was probably just worried I'd get played. Me. Don't talk about him like that. He's a really good, impressive guy. Tons of people are after him. S. It's an act. An act. This bastard is faking it for sure. You're too naive, baby. That's why he fooled you. S. Tell me. What's the bastard's name? I hesitated, then sent Theron's name anyway. Me. His name's Theron. He's a senior, really well known at Whitmore. He seems cold, but he's actually a good person. S, who'd been raging and dark and jealous out of his mind, went suddenly quiet. A rare, long silence. Then his tone shifted, all composed. S. When did you start chasing him? Me. A month ago. Another silence. Then out of nowhere he turned solemn. S. Just like a little baby. You don't even know how to chase a guy. S. It's fine, I'll teach you. Listen to me and you'll land him for sure. 5 minutes later. I looked at what he'd sent. Stalking. Spying. Tying him up. Making him. I sat there and thought about it. The campus god definitely likes this stuff. S told me to break into Theron's place first and study what he likes. Me. But I don't even know where he lives. S. Lakeside Court, Building 4, App 301. Me. But I don't have a key. S. Under the doormat. Me. But I don't know his schedule. What if I go and he's home? S. Except weekends he jogs at the park nearby at 6 every morning for half an hour, heads out after breakfast, and isn't back till after 7 at night. Me. But I. S. Keep going, baby. None of it's a problem. Me. I'm just a little confused how you know so much about him. S. I'm a hacker. I can pull his info. I didn't doubt it. He knew every last detail about me too. So with S coaxing me on, an hour later, I was hiding in Theron's wardrobe. Why was I hiding? Because Theron came home early. The wardrobe was thick with his cold, clean scent. I curled myself into a ball. Me. You jerk. Your info is completely useless. Theron came back early. S was thrilled to get yelled at. S. Ah, you're so cute even when you're cursing, baby. I gave you his usual routine. I never promised it wouldn't change. My face fell. Just my luck. First time doing something like this, and I run straight into the man himself. If Theron caught me, he'd hate me for sure, and then I'd never win him over. By now he'd walked into the bedroom. Through the crack in the wardrobe, I watched him hold his phone, thumbs moving like he was typing. S. Where are you hiding? Careful and quiet, I typed back. Me. I'm hiding in his wardrobe. Hope I don't get caught. Guilty conscience, maybe. I couldn't shake the feeling that the man by the bed had glanced, just barely, toward me. But he went into the bathroom soon after. I let out a breath. Then, in the narrow gap of the wardrobe, I spotted a familiar scarf. A lot like one I'd bought before. I blinked. A little thrilled. So Theron and I had the same taste after all. Water started running in the bathroom. He was probably showering. I crept out of the wardrobe, ready to slip away. And right then, a low buzz. Theron's phone sitting on the bed, started ringing. Not loud, but in the silent bedroom it was razor sharp. The water shut off. Next second, the bathroom door handle turned. Theron was coming out. I panicked. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. Through the narrow slit in the wardrobe door, the steam from the bathroom billowed out first, smelling of sharp mint and warm cedarwood. Then came Theron. He was wearing nothing but a pair of gray sweatpants hanging low on his hips, a white towel draped carelessly over his shoulders. Water droplets glistened on his pale, defined collarbones, tracing the dip of his chest down to his abs. His dark hair was messy and wet, sticking to his forehead. He looked less like a cold, distant campus god and more like a dangerous, dripping siren. I squeezed my eyes shut, pressing my back against the rear wooden panel. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. If he catches me in his closet, he'll report me to the dean. The system will fail. I'll be expelled. Theron didn't go for his phone right away. Instead, he walked slowly toward the wardrobe. My breath hitched. His bare feet made no sound against the thick carpet. Through the crack, I saw him reach up, his long, pale fingers wrapping around the handle of the very door I was hiding behind. Click. The door swung open. The cool air of the bedroom rushed in, instantly replacing the cramped, dusty scent of the closet. I sat there, curled into a tiny ball between a row of hung winter coats, staring up at him like a startled rabbit. Theron froze. His dark, obsidian eyes widened slightly. For 3 agonizing seconds, neither of us moved. The silence in the room was so thick you could hear the water dripping from the tips of his wet hair onto the wooden floor. Song, he murmured, his voice raspy from the hot shower. What are you doing? In my wardrobe. My brain stalled. My natural slowness kicked in at the worst possible moment. I swallowed hard, looking at his bare chest, then at his face. I was checking your wood quality. Theron blinked. A faint, almost imperceptible twitch appeared at the corner of his lips. Leaned down, resting one hand on the edge of the wardrobe doorframe, effectively trapping me inside his shadow. The scent of clean soap and mint washed over me. Checking my wood quality, he repeated softly, leaning in until his face was only inches from mine. His eyes were impossibly deep, reflecting my wide, panicked expression. And what's your verdict, Junior? It's very sturdy, I squeaked, shrinking back. Solid oak. Very high quality. I'll be going now. I tried to scramble out, but my foot caught on the hem of a coat hanger. I stumbled forward, headbutting straight into his warm, rock-hard abdomen. Ouch! Theron let out a low, muffled breath as my weight hit him. Instinctively, his arms wrapped around my waist to steady me. His skin was warm, slightly damp, and his muscles flared beneath my palms. For a second, I was completely pressed against his bare chest. I could feel the rapid, violent thumping of his heart under my cheek. Wait, his heart is beating so fast. I pulled back instantly, my face burning like a furnace. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump you. Theron stood there, his hand still resting lightly on my waist, his dark eyes fixed on my flushed cheeks. He didn't push me away. He didn't yell. He didn't even look angry. He just stared at my lips. His phone buzzed loudly on the nightstand behind him. The sound snapped the tension like a broken wire. Theron's eyes flickered, his grip loosening just enough for me to slip past him. I'm sorry for breaking in. Don't call the police. I yelled over my shoulder, bolting out of his bedroom, down the hallway, and out the front door faster than I had ever run in my life. I didn't stop until I reached the safety of my own apartment, 3 streets away. I slammed my front door shut, locked it 3 times, and collapsed onto the sofa, gasping for air. My phone buzzed in my hand. S. Did you get caught, baby? S. You were in there for a long time. Did he do something to you? Tell me, did he lay a hand on you? I picked up the phone, my fingers trembling as I typed back. Me. I got caught. He found me in his closet. It was terrible. Me. Accidentally bumped into his chest. He looked so intimidating I thought he was going to kill me. On the other end, S went quiet for a long moment. Then 3 messages popped up in rapid succession. S. He didn't hurt you, right? S. His chest, was it hard? S. Did you like it? I frowned at the screen. Me. Why are you asking that? I was terrified. Your info is terrible. You said he wouldn't be back until 7. S sent a melting sticker. S. I'm sorry, baby. It was my fault. Let me make it up to you. S. Next time, we won't hide. Next time, we take him by force. I blinked. Me. Take him by force? How? S. Phase 2 kidnapping. I just sent a package to your door. Open it. I walked over to my front door and opened it. Sitting on the welcome mat was a sleek, unlabeled black box tied with a satin ribbon. I carried it inside, set it on the coffee table, and carefully opened the lid. Inside sat 3 items. 1. A pair of plush, pink furry handcuffs. 2. A spool of soft silk rope. 3. A small glass bottle of lavender-scented pillow spray labeled Deep Sleep. At the bottom of the box was a handwritten note in sharp, elegant handwriting. Instructions. Spray the lavender on a handkerchief. Hold it over his mouth for 3 seconds. Cuff his hands behind his back. Drag him to your bed. He belongs to you now. I stared at the pink handcuffs. Me. Isn't this illegal? S. It's not illegal if he likes it. Me. How do you know he likes it? S. Trust me, baby. Men like Theron They look cold on the outside, but on the inside, they're desperate to be tied up by a cute girl like you. He won't report you. He'll thank you. I sat on my rug, poking the pink fur on the handcuffs. I'm slow by nature, but I'm not entirely brainless. This sounded like a crime. However, the system chime suddenly rang in my head. System alert. Target Theron favorability currently at 15%. Hint, the target prefers active, aggressive pursuit. Extreme methods may unlock 100% favorability. Instantly. Even the system was backing up S's logic. I looked at the pink handcuffs again. Well, if the system says so, and S says so, it must be right. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. But what if I can't overpower him? He's much bigger than me. S. Don't worry, baby. He won't fight back. Just tell him be good, and he'll obey. Me. You really know everything about him. S. Of course I do. I know everything about you too. Go to sleep early tonight. Baby, you'll need your energy for tomorrow's hunt. I closed the app, hugged my pillow, and drifted off to sleep. Across the city, in a high-rise apartment at Lakeside Court, a tall man sat on the edge of his bed in the dark. The room was silent except for the soft glow of a phone screen. Theron stared at the chat interface, his long fingers tracing the words, "I'll do it tomorrow." A dark, beautiful, unhinged smile spread across his face in the moonlight. He picked up his own wrist, looking at the pale skin where the pink cuffs would sit. Tomorrow, his breath hitching with dark, intoxicating anticipation. "I'll be very good for you, baby," he whispered into the quiet room. "So be sure to lock me tight." The next evening, the rain was pouring down in sheets. I stood outside the entrance of Lakeside Court, wearing my big green rain jacket, holding a pink umbrella in one hand and my canvas bag containing the handcuffs, rope, and lavender spray in the other. S was guiding me via live text. S. He just finished his evening run early because of the rain. He's taking the elevator up now. S. He's wearing a gray hoodie. His hands are in his pockets. S. Stand by the door. When he opens it, strike. I stood beside app 301, holding the lavender-soaked handkerchief in my trembling hand. My heart was pounding so loudly I thought the neighbors would hear it. Click. The elevator doors down the hall opened. Theron stepped out. He was wearing a dark gray hoodie, his wet hair plastered to his forehead, looking tired and cold. When he saw me standing outside his apartment door, holding a dripping umbrella and a pink bag, he stopped. His dark eyes flickered. He didn't look surprised. In fact, he looked expectant. "Song," he said, his voice quiet. "What are you doing here again?" I brought you something," I stammered, stepping forward. "What is it?" he asked, stepping closer to me, casually turning his back to me, as he pressed his thumb against the digital door lock. "This is it." The moment I dropped my umbrella, I lunged forward, slammed the lavender handkerchief over his mouth and nose, and used my other arm to grab his waist. Theron didn't dodge. He didn't pull away. He didn't even use his hands to push me off. In fact, the moment the handkerchief touched his face, he let out a soft, contented sigh. His body went completely limp, leaning back heavily into my arms, as if he had been struck by lightning. "Oh," he murmured, his voice slurred and sweet, his dark eyes looking up at me through heavy, hooded lashes. "So strong. I feel so dizzy." I froze, holding his tall, heavy frame up with all my strength. Wait. Did the lavender spray work in 1 second? Is he made of paper? Theron. I panicked, shaking his shoulder. "Are you okay?" "So sleepy," he whispered, his head rolling back to rest against my shoulder, his lips brushing against the crook of my neck. Don't leave me. Here." He weakly pressed his hand into mine, guiding my fingers to press the open button on his door lock. Beep beep boop. The door unlocked. I dragged the 6-foot-tall campus god through his own front door, shut it with my foot, and hauled him over to his living room sofa. He collapsed onto the cushions, his gray hoodie falling open slightly, his eyes half closed, looking completely defenseless. I stood by the sofa, panting for breath, staring at him. That was surprisingly easy. My phone buzzed in my pocket. "S. Did you get him?" I quickly pulled out my phone with one hand while keeping an eye on Theron with the other. "Me, yes." He passed out immediately. "The lavender spray is amazing." "S. Good girl, baby. Now cuff his wrists to the coffee table. Quick, before he wakes up." I put my phone away, pulled out the pink plush handcuffs from my bag and knelt beside the sofa. I took Theron's right wrist. His skin was warm, his pulse steady and strong. Under my thumb. He didn't resist at all. In fact, he subtly shifted his arm to make it easier for me to snap the metal ring closed. Click. I cuffed his right hand to the heavy iron leg of the glass coffee table. Then I took his left hand and cuffed it to his right, locking his arms together. Theron slowly opened his eyes. His dark pupils were focused, clear, and burning, with a dark, intense light that didn't look sleepy at all. He looked down at the pink fur around his wrists, then looked up at me. A slow, beautiful, breathtaking smile spread across his face. "You trapped me, Song," he murmured, his voice dropping into a deep, smooth baritone that sent shivers down my spine. "What are you going to do with me now?" I sat cross-legged on the floor in front of him, trying to look intimidating. "Theron," I said, putting on my sternest voice. "You have been captured." "I see that," he said softly, leaning back against the sofa cushions, his cuffed hands resting comfortably on his lap. He looked less like a hostage and more like a king resting on his throne. "What are your demands?" I pulled out my notebook. "Demand number 1. You have to talk to me more at school. You can't ignore my good morning texts." Theron's eyes softened. "Okay." "Demand number 2. You have to eat lunch with me at the cafeteria." "Okay." "Demand number 3. I hesitated, looking at S's instructions on my phone. S had written, "Demand number 3. Kiss him until his mind goes blank so he knows he belongs to you." My face turned hot. Theron noticed my hesitation. He tilted his head, his damp hair falling over his forehead, looking at me with innocent curiosity. "What's demand number 3, Junior?" "Demand number 3 is..." I swallowed hard, stepping onto my knees, leaning over him on the sofa. "You have to let me kiss you." Theron's breath hitched. The casual, relaxed posture vanished in an instant. His dark eyes darkened, burning with a sudden, wild hunger that made my heart leap into my throat. He lifted his cuffed hands, resting his bound wrists gently against the back of my neck, pulling me down until our lips were barely an inch apart. "I accept," he whispered against my mouth. "Kiss me." I leaned in and pressed my lips against his. It was supposed to be a short, dominant kiss to assert my control. But the second my lips touched his, Theron took over entirely. Even with his hands cuffed, his upper body turned, pressing me down onto the sofa cushions beneath him. He deepened the kiss, his tongue sliding past my teeth, tasting me with a desperate, starving passion that made my knees go weak. I made a muffled sound, my fingers clutching his gray hoodie. His lips moved from my mouth down to my jawline, leaving a trail of hot, feverish kisses along my skin, his breath ragged against my neck. "Song." He groaned softly, his forehead resting against my collarbone, his body trembling slightly against mine. "You're so sweet, so cute. I can't stand it." I lay on the sofa, completely dazed, my brain turned to mush. Wait, isn't this supposed to be my kidnapping? Why am I the one pinned down? Right at that exact moment, in the quiet, heavy atmosphere of the living room, a phone on the coffee table began to vibrate. Buzz, buzz, buzz. It wasn't my phone. Mine was in my coat pocket on the floor. It was Theron's phone, sitting right next to the iron leg where his cuffs were attached. The screen lit up in the dim light. I glanced over his shoulder at the glowing display. A WeChat notification was flashing at the top of his screen. System alert. Message sent to baby successfully. And directly below it, in the open chat interface of his unlocked phone, sat the exact text I had received 10 seconds before I entered his apartment. "S. Good girl, baby. Now cuff his wrists to the coffee table. Quick, before he wakes up." The room went dead silent. The only sound left was the rain pouring against the window panes and the heavy, ragged sound of our breathing. I stared at the screen of Theron's phone. My mind, usually slow and beat behind, suddenly connected the dots with the speed of a lightning strike. The black profile picture, the exact knowledge of my daily routine, the walk-in closet packed with my discarded green dress, the camera behind my flower pot, the instructions on how to break into this apartment, the under-the-doormat key, the pink handcuffs. I slowly lifted my head. Theron was still resting his chin on my shoulder, his bound arms wrapped loosely around my neck. He hadn't noticed that his screen had lit up. "Theron," I whispered softly. He murmured, kissing the skin behind my ear. "What's wrong, baby?" "Baby." He called me baby. Not Junior. Not Song. He used the exact same tone, the exact same word, the exact same soft, possessive cadence that S used in every single text message for the past month. My whole body went rigid. "Theron," I said again, my voice trembling. "What is your WeChat username?" Theron's body froze against mine. Slowly, agonizingly, he lifted his head. The soft, submissive, helpless expression he had been wearing for the past hour melted away like ice in boiling water. In its place was a quiet, dark, utterly unhinged composure. He didn't panic. He didn't try to hide his phone. He didn't even look guilty. He simply leaned back, sitting up on the sofa, looking down at me with dark, glittering eyes that held zero warmth for the rest of the world, but contained an overwhelming, suffocating universe of love for me. "You found out," he said smoothly, his voice dropping all pretense of coldness, returning to the deep, sweet, velvet tone of S. I sat up, my knees shaking as I backed away to the edge of the sofa. You are S. Yes, baby. Theron smiled softly. He lifted his cuffed hands, casually reaching into his sweatpants pocket, pulling out a small silver key, and unlocking the pink metal cuffs with a quiet click-click. He tossed the pink handcuffs onto the table, completely unbothered. You weren't knocked out by the lavender spray? I gasped, pointing a finger at him. Lavender spray doesn't knock people out in 3 seconds, song. Theron chuckled a low, fond sound. He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees, looking up at me like a giant cat that had successfully trapped its favorite mouse. I just wanted to see you try to kidnap me. You look so cute holding that little handkerchief. My brain officially melted. You put cameras in my room, I yelled, my face turning red. 13 of them. 14, he corrected gently. You missed the one inside the smoke detector. You bought my old oil-stained dress out of the trash. It smelled like you, he said matter-of-factly. I couldn't let the garbage men have it. You told me to break into your own house. How else was I supposed to get you into my bed? He asked, raising an eyebrow. With pure, unadulterated logic. You were so slow, baby. You chased me for a whole month, and all you did was send good morning texts. If I didn't step in and teach you how to stalk me, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. I stared at him, completely speechless. The cold campus god, the untouchable senior, the perfectionist prodigy of Whitmore University, was an absolute, certified 100% psychopath. I stammered, grabbing a throw pillow and holding it against my chest. Like a shield. You're crazy. Theron didn't deny it. He stood up from the sofa, his tall frame looming over me, his dark eyes fixed on my face with an intensity that made the air in the room grow hot. He knelt on the carpet between my knees, taking both of my trembling hands in his, pressing his lips against my knuckles. I am crazy, he confessed softly, his voice trembling with raw, terrifying sincerity. I've been crazy about you since the day you transferred here, song. You stared at me in the library on your first day, and I waited 3 months for you to talk to me, but you never did. He looked up at me, his eyes dark and wet. So I put up the cameras. I bought your dresses. I created the S account just so I could hear your voice every night. And when you told me you were chasing Theron, my heart almost stopped. He squeezed my hands tight. Don't leave, baby, he whispered, resting his cheek against my knee, looking up at me like a devoted, dangerous dog waiting for its master's command. You already cuffed me. You have to take responsibility for me now. While I was sitting there, trying to process the fact that my campus crush was also my room stalker who had just let me kidnap him, a frantic mechanical alarm suddenly exploded inside my brain. Alert! Alert! System error. Target Theron favorability data corrupting. Recalculating. Favorability, 100%, 200%, 9,999%. Warning target. Favorability was already maxed out prior to host's mission assignment. System error. The male lead was already obsessed with the host before the story began. Mission parameters invalid. I blinked. What? The blue digital screen flickered wildly in my vision before displaying a final message. System assessment. Host has successfully, and unintentionally, tamed the dark male lead. Mission declared a complete success, rewarding host with permanent life in this world and unlimited funding from the male lead's bank account. System shutting down. Good luck, host. The system interface went completely black and vanished from my mind forever. I sat on the sofa in silence. So, the system didn't send me here to win over the cold campus god. The system sent me here, and the cold campus god had instantly lost his mind the second he saw me, tracking me down, setting up a months-long trap and coaxing me into capturing him so he could belong to me legally. I looked down at the man kneeling at my feet. Theron was still holding my hands, his wet hair resting against my knees, waiting silently for my verdict. He looked so pale, so handsome, so utterly surrendered to me. Theron, I called out softly. He lifted his head instantly. Yes, baby. Where is the camera in my smoke detector? Theron paused, a faint flush creeping up his ears. Top left corner. The small, black lens. Take it down tomorrow. Okay, he agreed immediately. And stop buying $50,000 dresses without asking me first. I like cheap ones better. Okay, I'll buy the store. And I looked at his handsome face, my heart doing a soft, warm flutter. You have to make me breakfast every morning. Theron's eyes lit up with a brilliant, breathtaking light. A massive, radiant smile broke across his face, the kind of smile he had never shown to anyone on campus. He lunged forward, throwing his arms around my waist, pulling me down onto the sofa with him, burying his face in my neck, kissing me over and over until I couldn't breathe from laughing. I'll make breakfast every day, he promised, his voice thick with pure, unadulterated joy. I'll make lunch. I'll make dinner. I'll be your seatmate. I'll be your boyfriend. Just stay with me song. Don't ever look at another man. Again. I wrapped my arms around his broad shoulders, feeling the steady, warm beat of his heart against mine. Okay, I murmured, pressing a kiss to his cheek. Deal. On Monday morning, Whitmore University was hit by a social media earthquake. It started at 8 a.m. in the main campus courtyard. Theron, the untouchable, icy, multi-billionaire heir and top scholar who had turned down every high society girl in the city, walked through the front gates. He was wearing his usual tailored black coat and crisp white shirt. Except today, clipped neatly into his jet black hair right above his left ear, was a bright pink butterfly hair clip. And hanging from his wrist was a thin silver chain, the other end of which was held firmly in the small, mitten-covered hand of a quiet girl walking beside him. The entire courtyard went dead silent. Students stopped mid-stride. Coffee cups were dropped. Bicycles crashed into bushes. Is that Theron? Why is he wearing a pink butterfly clip? Wait, who is that girl holding his chain? Isn't that Song Mi-yeon from the business department? The quiet girl who sits in the back row? Theron didn't pay attention to a single person around him. As they walked toward the lecture hall, he suddenly stopped, turned to me, and pouted his lips slightly. Baby, my hand is cold, he said, his voice loud enough for the nearby crowd to hear, dropping into a soft, whining tone that made every student within 10 feet gasp in terror. Hold it inside your pocket. I looked at him, rolling my eyes. Theron, we're outside the building. Stop acting like a baby. You promised, he murmured, leaning down, pressing his cheek against my shoulder in front of 50 staring students. Hold my hand, or I won't go to class. The surrounding crowd nearly lost their minds. Is this a mad dog on a leash? The cold campus god is a needy golden retriever. What kind of dark magic did Song Mi-yeon use on him? I sighed, pulled his big, warm hand into my jacket pocket, and squeezed his fingers. Fine. Let's go, good boy. Theron's eyes instantly curved into two happy crescents. He squeezed my hand back, trailing behind me into the building like the world's most obedient, high-maintenance pet. 1 year later, our shared apartment at Lakeside Court was warm and bright. The living room was filled with soft pastel cushions, stuffed animals, and rows of pretty dresses hanging in an expanded glass walk-in closet. I sat on the soft rug, eating a bowl of strawberries while watching TV. On the coffee table sat a framed photograph taken on our graduation day, me wearing my gown, holding a diploma, while Theron stood beside me leaning down to kiss my cheek, wearing a matching pink bow tie that I had picked out for him. Theron walked out of the kitchen wearing a dark gray apron, carrying a plate of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. He set the plate on the rug, sat down behind me, and wrapped his long legs around my waist, pulling me back into his chest. Delicious, I said, popping a warm cookie into my mouth. Better than the ones from the bakery? He asked, resting his chin on my head. Much better. Theron let out a soft, contented hum. His hand slid into mine, his thumb tracing the gold band sitting on my left ring finger. My phone buzzed on the carpet. A WeChat alert from an unknown number popped up. Unknown. Hey, is this Song Mi-yeon? I saw your research paper online, and was wondering if. Before I could even reach for the phone, Theron's hand shot out. He picked up my phone, tapped the screen with lightning speed, blocked the number, deleted the message, and set the phone face down on the table. He turned my face toward him, his dark eyes narrowing into a jealous, dangerous gaze. Who was that? He asked, his voice dropping into that familiar, raspy tone. I don't know, I laughed, cupping his jaw. You deleted it before I could read it. Good, Theron murmured, leaning down to capture my lips in a deep, sweet, possessive kiss. You don't need to read messages from strangers. You only need to look at me. I smiled into the kiss, wrapping my arms around his neck, letting myself be held tight in his warm, unhinged, beautiful embrace. I used to think I was a slow girl who got stuck with a crazy stalker. Now I knew the truth. I didn't get stuck with him. I captured him. And I was never, ever letting him go.